In the fall of 2019, a man ran frantic and terrified from the basement of a guy he had met on Grindr.
Sherlock County 911.
I was trying to get away from some creepy guy. He had me tied up in his basement.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I'm trying to escape from some guy who had me chained up in his basement.
He had you chained in his basement? Where are you calling from?
I don't know. He's after me.
Hey, I need you to go to somewhere safe. If you can run up to somebody's house.
Help me. Help me.
6'2", he's running towards the house. The guy's trying to come after him. I'm trying to get further.
This unsettling encounter would set off a chain of more chilling events, ultimately ending in a tragic and gruesome murder. This is the disturbing case of Mark Latunski, aka the Michigan Grindr Cannibal. On Christmas Eve 2019, Kevin Bacon, a 25-year-old hairstylist from Swartz Creek, Michigan, made plans to meet up with the man he had been talking to on Grindr. Upset over the prospect of encountering someone he wished to avoid at his family's Christmas Eve dinner, Kevin decided to skip the event and instead meet up with the man from Grindr. Little did he know a dark fate awaited him. He left his house at around 5:15 p.m., informing his roommate via text that he would be out late and that the man he was meeting intended to invite others for a hookup party. An hour later, Kevin texted his roommate, letting her know that he was okay and that he was having a good time. Unfortunately, this would be the last communication his roommate would receive from Kevin. The following morning, Kevin's family and roommate became concerned when he didn't show up for Christmas breakfast. Concerned for his well-being, his father, Carl Bacon, immediately contacted the police to report his disappearance. It didn't take long for authorities to locate Kevin's car at a Family Dollar store in Clayton Township. Inside the vehicle, they found his phone, wallet, and some clothes. These discoveries hinted at possible trouble, especially considering Kevin's history of mental health struggles, including attempts to unalive himself, depression, self-harm, and body image issues. In fact, he had been admitted to a mental hospital just weeks prior and had been discharged on December 2nd, hoping to find stability and healing. Coincidentally, all this occurred just 21 days after his discharge from the mental hospital. Thankfully, the police were able to track Kevin's online activity and received a tip about a man named Mark Latunski, leading them to pay him a visit on December 27th, 2019. Mark Latunski, a former chemist in his 50s, had recently divorced his husband Jamie after a 3-year marriage. Mark had also had a previous marriage in 2001 to a woman named Emily Latunski, and together they had 4 children. Emily told a divorce court judge that Mark once made a good living as a research chemist and lab manager, earning a 6-figure income of over $100,000 per year. However, his mental health began to slip. In 2010 and 2012, he received official diagnoses confirming the presence of severe, recurring, and chronic major depression with psychotic features, adjustment disorder with depression and anxiety, paranoid schizophrenia, and borderline personality traits. Around the same time, Mark admitted to Emily that he had been having affairs with men he had met online. After finding out this information, Emily divorced Mark in 2013. The divorce reports reveal that Mark would sporadically stop taking his medication, resulting in erratic behavior when he was off of it. He would engage in disturbing activities like watching torture films and even made threats to get rid of his children's pets. Following the divorce, Mark continued to neglect his prescribed medications, which eventually led to his termination from his career as a chemist. In the fall of 2019, Mark had caught the attention of law enforcement due to alarming incidents reported against him. On October 10, 2019, a man named James Carlson dialed 911 in distress, claiming he had been abducted and held captive, chained up in Latunski's basement.
Sorry, Wesley 911, where's your emergency?
This is going to sound insane. I'm here in Detroit. I'm from New York. And I met this guy at the bus station who offered me a ride. And I'm not even sure where I am. Well, I broke out of this fucking basement, and I need a ride. Okay. I'm in trouble. I can't find my way back to his place if I wanted to. I don't know if you can take me a signal. I'm from New York. I'm walking down the street with a picture knife, sweetheart. I need help.
Okay, I'm going to get you help. Are you walking down the street right now?
Yes, ma'am, I am. I'm passing a barn. It's all beautiful here. I don't know whether he drugged me. I don't know. I woke up in the fucking basement. Okay? Chained in the basement with a leather thing on my ankle, and I cut it with the butcher knife that I have in my freaking hand. Excuse my French. I just want to get out of here, and I want to go home. I don't even care about the legal case I was here for. I'm sorry, I can't help them. I want to go home. I met this guy. I'm by. He was cute. He hit on me. I don't know. We went out to the car. We talked. We went to the store. Had a soda. I woke up in the basement.
Okay.
He obviously drugged me.
Do you know what his name was?
No.
No?
And I don't want to pursue it. I want to go home. Okay? I want to go home.
According to his account, he had met Latunski at a bus station, and after Latunski made advances towards him, they decided to grab a soda together. James later confessed that he had taken the bus from New York with the sole intention of meeting up with Latunski in Michigan. After James consumed the soda, his memory faded, only to regain consciousness in the grim confinement of Mark's basement. James told the operator that he'd been chained up and freed himself using a butcher knife to cut off the leather straps that bound his wrists. He escaped the house, butcher knife in hand, and stole Mark's car keys before running down Tyrell Road, a 3-mile stretch that runs parallel to Interstate 69. Approximately 10 minutes later, troopers arrived at the scene, prepared to assist. Astonishingly, James decided against pressing charges, making it difficult for the police to intervene. A similar incident occurred just a few weeks later in November 2019, when another man named John Doe, wearing only a leather kilt, escaped Mark's house and sought help from neighbors.
Charlotte County 911.
I'm trying to get away from some creepy guy. He had me tied up in his basement.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I'm trying to escape from some guy who had me chained up in his basement.
He had you chained in his basement? Where are you calling from?
I don't know. He's after me.
Hey, I need you to go to somewhere safe. If you can run up to somebody's house. Where are you at right now? Are you able to get away?
Help me. Help me.
6'2", he's running towards the house. The guy's trying to come after him. I'm trying to get further.
I hear a pounding at my door at 4 in the afternoon, and I jump up. My dogs are barking like you probably hear, and this kid has his face covered with a rag and a phone to his ear, and he's like, help me, he's after me, just scared to death out of his mind. A gentleman pulls up in my driveway in a silver SUV, and he gets out, and he's wearing the same getup this guy's wearing, which is a leather skirt and a couple of belts crossing her body, no shoes on, no shirt on. It's 40 degrees out.
Park tells TV5 that the man was Mark Latunski. He says Latunski was trying to, quote, calm the situation down, saying it was a misunderstanding, but says the victim's reaction told a different story.
This kid grabs my arm and clutches behind me. Keep him away from me, just scared out of his mind.
That's when Latunski left and police arrived. There's no record of charges being filed from this incident. Park says that the victim told police that what the two were involved in was consensual.
The police were able to track John Doe's location from his phone, seeking refuge at a nearby neighbor's house until the police showed up. Mark explained to the police that the only reason he was chasing after John Doe was because he was trying to retrieve his leather kilt from him. Again, no fouls were charged, allowing Mark to evade legal consequences. And in December 2019, Kevin would unfortunately be Mark's third and final victim. Acting on the information obtained from Kevin's cell phone, officers arrived at Latunski's home on the night of December 27, 2019. Mark, seemingly unperturbed, greeted them wearing only a leather kilt. Despite his peculiar demeanor, Mark surprisingly cooperated, granting the police access to his home. He willingly allowed the police to search his residence, leading them to discover a hidden room in the basement. The basement, equipped with a trapdoor, resembled a stereotypical layer of death and torture. As they ventured into the dark basement, they encountered a horrific scene. Kevin's lifeless body hung from the rafters of the ceiling. He was naked, cold, and suspended by his ankles. His throat slit, and his testicles had been removed. Mark Latunski was promptly arrested. And during questioning, he confessed to the crime, admitting to stabbing Kevin in the back and slitting his throat. Latunski revealed his chilling plan to use Kevin's blood and bones as fertilizer for his garden, while also expressing his intentions to dry out Kevin's muscles to make jerky. Mark's defense changed multiple times, ranging from accidental killing to a sexual fetish gone wrong to claims of Kevin's desire for death. Mark claimed that Kevin had told him that he wanted to die. According to Mark, Kevin had asked him to stab him in the spine so that he wouldn't feel a thing.
We chatted for a while. He described the things that he wanted, and we made the agreement, and he was supposed to disappear, be gone.
So what was the agreement?
I would make his body disappear. And we talked about, several things. What was I going to do? And part of it was the process of turning, what portions of his body could be used or gotten. That there were certain things as far as turning his bones into bone meal and turning them into something that would grow tulips, for example. After he was dead, he was hanging, I was done for the night. And it was then that I started to do what I told him I was going to do. It was the new moon. And honoring my word to what I said I would do, that was when I took his I cut them out, and I took them upstairs and I ate them.
He shockingly admitted to frying and consuming Kevin's testicles. And despite Mark's claims that Kevin wanted his assistants to unalive himself, Grindr messages proved that that wasn't true.
Text messages between the two show Kevin Bacon wanted Latunski to keep him safe after their hookup.
Kevin Bacon agrees to meet up with Mark Latunski, but expresses concerns that after the sexual interaction that he will be safe at all times. He went upstairs. He saw that, in his words, it was a new moon, and as a result of that, Latunski stated he normally eats Rocky Mountain oysters, and instead of using the oysters that he had in his freezer, he decided to use the testicles of Kevin Bacon.
The legal process surrounding Latunski's crimes was complex and fraught with challenges. Initially, in February 2020, he was found incompetent to stand trial after claiming his name was Edgar Thomas Hill and was sent to a psychiatric hospital for treatment.
Sir, are you Mr. Latunski?
No, my name is Edgar Thomas Hill. Mark Latunski is my nephew.
And he signed another name to court documents. The judge didn't delve into that. He simply continued with the arraignment and ordered Latunski held without bond.
He believes he's named someone else. He believes he is from a royal family out of Wales, the Thomas clan. And just the nature of the crime itself, you've got to send him for this evaluation.
After 7 months, he was declared mentally fit for trial. However, his competency was once again called into question, leading to a third evaluation and a subsequent declaration of incompetence. Ultimately, in May of the following year, Latunski was deemed competent once more and was set to stand trial in October. However, on September 22, 2022, he unexpectedly pleaded guilty to all charges.
Latunski, on December 24th, 2019, were you at 703 West Terrell in Morris, Michigan?
Yes, I was.
To your knowledge, is that in Shiawassee County?
Yes, it is.
On that date, were you with Kevin Bacon?
Yes, I was.
Did you use a knife to stab Mr. Bacon?
Yes, I did.
Do you know that stabbing Mr. Bacon with a knife would most certainly create a very high risk of death or grave bodily harm to Mr. Bacon?
Yes, I did.
After Mr. Bacon was dead, did you remove part of his body, specifically his testicles?
Yes, I did.
Did you move those testicles to the kitchen?
Yes, I did.
Did you do so without legal authorization, meaning you were not doing so to embalm Mr. Bacon's body or to do a proper post-mortem examination?
No, I didn't.
Your Honor, I believe that's sufficient factual basis for both counts.
Mr. Latunski, the court agrees with the attorneys. The court does find you guilty of open murder and dismembering a body, and your conviction now is made part of the record of this court. We cannot, however, give you a sentence yet because we're not finished. We have to have a degree hearing. And I spoke to counsel in chambers, and we agreed that that degree hearing will be conducted in this courtroom on October 18th and October 19th of 2022.
On October 19, 2022, he stood trial and was found competent to face the consequences of his actions.
First-degree murder is the most serious crime recognized in our criminal justice system. The most serious crime deserves the most serious sentence, that of life with no possibility of parole. The legislature's intent is that the defendant never rejoin free society but live out the remainder of his life within the Michigan Department of Corrections. That would also be the court's intent, that defendant never be released from custody under any circumstance.
The judge, recognizing the cold and calculated nature of the attack, sentenced Mark Latunski to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Mr. Latunski, it is the sentence of this court that you serve out the remainder of your life in the Michigan Department of Corrections without the possibility of parole.
Mark's house was auctioned off for just over $100,000 in February 2020 to a man named Alex Deal, 2 months after Mark murdered and mutilated Kevin Bacon.
What type of things did you see?
Specifically, there was a lot.
So much that he had a hard time talking about it.
However, Alex lived in the home for only 5 months. Alex said that the basement, den, master bedroom, and kitchen reflected the horrors that had occurred within the home.
The basement, the den, master bedroom, and the kitchen. Specifically the dishwasher.
And what he saw in that dishwasher, he says he'll never forget.
3 sets of dishes with human remains on them. And all 3 sets are in the dishwasher. And the dishwasher was never had electricity to it. It was brand new. It still had the plastic on the front of it.
And after seeing that, many will wonder why anyone would want to live in that house.
Bought the object, not the subject. Simple real estate transaction. Houses don't kill people.
Alex owned the home until July 2020. Alex claims that the Latunski family regained possession of it.
Mark bought his crime scene back. He bought it back.
Throughout this tragic series of events, friends and family of Kevin Bacon expressed their concerns about the police's handling of Latunski's previous victims. They believe that due to the victims being gay men involved in BDSM, law enforcement did not investigate with the same urgency and thoroughness as they would if the victims were women. The police maintain that their limited actions were due to the victims' reluctance to press charges. However, critics argue that more could have been made to persuade the victims to testify, potentially preventing Kevin's untimely demise. What are your thoughts on this case? Let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe for more LGBTQ true crime.